Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're really embarking on quite a journey, philosophically speaking, into this one concept that's just huge. It tries to capture the entire architecture of reality itself.
That's right.
We're diving into Brahman, the ultimate source in Hindu philosophy, especially Vedanta.
And, calling it architecture is actually quite fitting. Because this wasn't just some abstract theological idea, was it?
Right.
The sources make it clear this came from the ancient Indian sages, the rishis, really turning inward.
Asking those huge fundamental questions. Exactly. The big ones. Who am I? And, what is all this stuff around us actually made of? And what they found wasn't a person or a thing, but
this vast, formless, eternal reality. Just they're underlying everything, every single atom, every thought. It's immense.
Okay, let's try and pin that down a bit first, because Brahman is a word people hear, but maybe misuse or misunderstand sometimes. What's the core meaning we need to grasp for this deep dive?
Well, the word itself, Brahman, it gives us the first clue. It comes from this Sanskrit root, ba, which means to expand, to grow, to swell. So right there in the name, you get this sense of boundless expansion.
So it's the source that just keeps expanding infinitely. It is that expansion.
Precisely. It's the source of all existence, constantly unfolding, sustaining itself.
All right, ultimate reality. But I mean, the moment you say ultimate, you hit a wall trying to define it, don't you?
You absolutely do. And the sources are really clear. Brahman isn't a god like Zeus. It's not a physical object. It's not even just a philosophical idea. So how on earth did the sages try to describe something that's basically indescribable? Well, they approached it by focusing on what it is in its purest state. They called it infinite consciousness, the ultimate reality, the one without a second meaning. There's nothing else but it.
Nothing outside of it. Nothing. And crucially, they pointed to three core attributes, which you often hear together. Sat-Chit-Ananda. Ah, yes, Sat-Chit-Ananda. We see those three terms everywhere. Sat, Chit, Ananda.
That's it.
So Sat, existence or being. That makes sense for an ultimate reality. It is.
Right.
And Chit, consciousness, awareness, again, seems logical for the source of everything.
Yes, the foundation. But I want to pause on that third one, Ananda, usually translated as bliss or pure joy. Why is joy a fundamental, necessary part of the ultimate reality?
Yeah.
That feels different. It's possibly the most profound part, and it tackles a massive philosophical issue head-on.
Which is?
Well, if Brahman is the only thing that exists, the absolute whole, where does all the suffering and imperfection we experience come from?
Right. If reality itself has flaws, then Brahman must be flawed somehow.
Exactly. And that's where Ananda comes in. By stating that bliss or absolute joy is the third inherent quality, it asserts that the fundamental underlying nature of the universe, once you see past the illusion of separation, is actually perfect, complete, and joyful.
So bliss isn't something you achieve, it's the baseline state.
It's the natural state of existence when consciousness realizes its own undivided wholeness.
So things like fear, pain, separation, those are like layers we add on top, not intrinsic to reality itself.
That's the idea.
Yeah.
They arise from the perception of separation.
Yeah.
And this leads straight into that huge central declaration from the Upanishads.
Sarvam Kalvidam Brahma.
All this is indeed Brahman. Every single thing you perceive, experience, think, it is Brahman.
No separation between the source and what comes from it.
Not at all. The manifestation is the source, appearing as multiplicity.
Okay, that is genuinely a mind-bending concept. If this desk I'm touching, the air in this room, this thought I'm having right now, if all of that is Brahman, then how does this relate to what most people think of when they hear the word God? A personal deity, someone you pray to.
Right, and that's a really critical distinction to make. It helps bridge the gap. Brahman, in its pure state, is the absolute. It's impersonal.
Beyond form, beyond time, beyond gender.
Completely formless, attributeless.
And let's be honest, that's incredibly difficult for us as humans to connect with emotionally or conceptually. We think in terms of personality, stories, relationships.
Exactly right. And the ancient sages totally understood that human need. That's why the concept of Ishvara is introduced.
Ishvara, the personal God.
Essentially, yes. Ishvara is Brahman with attributes. It's the infinite formless Brahman choosing to express itself through a form, a personality, a specific divine role like Vishnu the Preserver or Shiva the Transformer.
Okay. So Ishvara is like Brahman putting on a face so we can interact with it.
That's a great way to put it. It's the absolute, made relatable, worshipable, understandable to our limited human minds. It's like an interface.
A necessary filter, maybe.
Yeah.
Between the infinite and the finite. Perfect analogy. And the sources use another powerful one, the ocean. Think of Brahman as the vast, deep, limitless ocean. Okay, got it. The whole body of water.
And then all the gods and goddesses we hear about, Vishnu, Shiva, Devi, Christ, Allah, any conception of a personal divine form.
They're like the waves.
Exactly. Individual waves cresting on the surface of that single ocean. They have different shapes, different names. They seem distinct for a moment.
But they're all made of the exact same water. A wave can't exist apart from the ocean.
And the ocean expresses itself through all the waves. They are one and the same substance. It really reframes everything.
So when you read something like the Bhagavad Gita, where Krishna says, I am the source of all, from me everything emanates.
Yeah.
There isn't just the individual persona of Krishna talking.
It's understood as that universal principle, Brahman, the ultimate consciousness, speaking through the form of Krishna. It's the ocean speaking through the wave, if you like.
Wow. Okay. This naturally leads us then from the cosmic scale right down to the intensely personal, to perhaps the most famous phrase of all, Tat Tvam Asi.
That thou art. Probably the single most powerful statement in all of non-dual philosophy.
Why? What makes it so potent?
Because it completely collapses the perceived distance between you, the individual seeker, and that, the ultimate reality.
It's not saying you are like Brahman or you can become Brahman. No, it's stating unequivocally, you are that, right now. That ultimate, expansive, conscious, blissful source isn't somewhere else waiting for you. It is your fundamental nature. You're not just a tiny piece of the absolute. You are the absolute, experiencing itself through this particular limited human viewpoint.
Yes. And if you want to ground this in your own direct experience, try this. Just notice the simple sense of I am.
Okay.
Before you add anything to it, before you say I am hungry or I am a teacher or I am happy or I am sad, just the pure feeling of existing, of being aware.
That background awareness that's always there underneath all the changing thoughts and feelings.
That core silent sense of amness, that is said to be the doorway. That's Brahman shining through the window of your individual mind.
And the implication, as you said, is just staggering.
It is, because the full realization of Tat Tvam Asi, actually knowing it in your bones, that is enlightenment. That's moksha, liberation.
It means seeing that all the distinctions we build our lives around me versus you, us versus them, rich versus poor, good versus bad.
All of those are understood as temporary plays of energy, like ripples on the surface happening within that single, undivided, infinite consciousness. The separation we feel so strongly is, well, part of the dream.
The dream of being separate ends when you wake up to the reality of being the whole.
Yeah.
Okay. But holding on to this purely non-dual idea is incredibly difficult conceptually for our minds, which are built on distinction.
Absolutely. It seems paradoxical.
Did the sages offer any kind of framework, maybe some categories, to help our relative minds make sense of this absolute non-dual truth?
Yes, they did. They talked about two aspects of Brahman, which we need to hold in tension almost. We have Nirguna Brahman and Saguna Brahman.
Nirguna, that sounds like the really abstract one.
That's right. Nirguna means without attributes or without qualities. This is Brahman in its absolute, ultimate, formless state. Pure existence, consciousness, bliss. It simply is.
And you can't really describe it or imagine it?
Because any description, any image would immediately limit it, define it, and it's limitless by nature. It's the unmanifest potential, the source before any creation.
So Nirguna is the ultimate truth, perhaps, but maybe Saguna is the way we approach that truth.
Exactly. Saguna Brahman means Brahman with attributes or with qualities.
Right.
This is the very same infinite reality, but now viewed as manifesting with form, personality, power, qualities.
So this is where the deities come in, Vishnu, Shiva, Devi.
Precisely. Saguna Brahman is the aspect that appears as the creator, preserver, destroyer, the intelligence governing the cosmos, the divine forms that humans can relate to and worship. Our minds are wired for relationship, for form, for devotion.
Without Saguna, we'd have no way in.
It would be incredibly difficult. Saguna provides the accessible path, whether you connect through prayer to a chosen deity, through devotional practices, or even through philosophical contemplation of the manifested universe that's engaging with Saguna Brahman.
It almost sounds like the ultimate power source itself versus how that power is used. The electricity analogy I mentioned earlier works so well here.
It really does capture the relationship beautifully. Brahman itself, the Nirguna aspect, is like the invisible, formless electricity flowing everywhere.
You can't see the electricity itself.
Right. It's just potential. But that single underlying energy, that same electricity, can manifest in countless ways. It can light up a simple bulb.
Or run a massive complex factory.
Or power the device you're listening to this on right now. All incredibly different forms, different functions, seemingly separate.
But all drawing from and expressions of the exact same underlying unseen power.
That's the Nirguna Saguna relationship in a nutshell.
And they used other metaphors too, didn't they? Besides the ocean and electricity, which are great, I remember reading about the sun and its rays.
Yes, another classic one. The rays are distinct, they travel, they illuminate things, but they're fundamentally inseparable from the sun. They're the sun's light, extended.
You can't have the rays without the sun, or the sun without its radiance.
Exactly. And then there's the metaphor of the dream and the dreamer, which is quite profound too.
How does that one work?
It suggests that this entire universe, all its seeming solidity, its vast history, its intricate laws of physics, is in essence a vivid, incredibly detailed, but ultimately temporary dream arising within the consciousness of Brahman.
So everything in the dream, the people, the places, the events,
arises from the dreamer's mind, exists within the dreamer's mind, and when the dream ends, it all dissolves back into the dreamer. Nothing was ever truly separate from the dreamer.
Wow. Okay, so if this incredible reality, this Brahman, is the truth underlying everything, how do we actually operationalize this? We can talk about it, analyze it intellectually.
But how do you experience it?
Yeah. How does someone move beyond just understanding the concept to actually becoming aware of Brahman in a deep, maybe even permanent way? You can't just go out and see Brahman, right?
No, you can't perceive it as an object separate from yourself. The primary path pointed to is one of self-inquiry, turning the focus of awareness back onto itself.
Okay.
This is the core practice of Advaita Vedanta and certain paths of yoga. It's often described not so much as adding something new, but as subtracting what is false, what is superimposed on your true nature, the path of negation or elimination, famously captured in the question posed by sages like Ramana Maharshi, who am I?
Exactly. You relentlessly investigate the I. You look at your body and ask, am I this body?
And the answer has to be no, because the body changes, it gets sick, it dies, it's temporary, you have a body, but you aren't just the body.
Precisely. Then you look at your emotions. Am I this anger? Am I this fleeting joy? Again, no. Emotions come and go like clouds passing through the sky of awareness. You witness them, but you aren't them.
Then thoughts, am I these thoughts constantly racing through my mind?
No, because you are aware of the thoughts. There's a witness to the thinking process. You keep discarding everything that is temporary, everything that is an object of perception. So it's this process of the core sense of I am letting go of every single label, every story, every identity we've ever attached to ourselves.
Yes. And the teaching is that when every false identification, every limitation, every temporary fluctuation is seen through and drops away, what remains?
Just awareness itself.
Pure, silent, unchanging awareness, the witness consciousness. That which is left when everything perceivable is negated. That residual foundational consciousness is Brahman itself.
That's the moment of realization, liberation, moksha.
That's the understanding. And the result isn't becoming some zoned-out zombie. It's described with such incredible clarity in the Vedas.
What do they say?
He who sees all beings in himself and himself in all beings, he never turns away from it. There's this profound sense of unity, of empathy, of recognizing the same underlying reality in everyone and everything. The separation dissolves.
It becomes a lived reality, not just a concept.
That's the goal. It brings us right back to the beginning. Brahman is that unchanging reality beneath all the noise, all the change, all the drama of the cosmos.
The silent witness.
The silent witness. It was here before anything we call creation began, and it will be what remains when everything dissolves. Simply because, being the totality, it can't be created or destroyed.
It's that idea of the singular, undiminished reality that, as you say, goes back so far. It's beautifully captured in that line from the Chandogya Upanishad, reminding us of the origin.
In the beginning, there was only being one without a second.
Just pure existence.
And that singular, perfect conscious being isn't something remote or external to you. It's the very essence of your awareness, right here, right now.
So perhaps here's the final thought we can leave you with after this deep dive today. It's easy to fall into the habit of thinking of yourself as just, well, a small, maybe vulnerable part of this vast universe, subject to all its forces. But maybe try turning that perspective inside out. What if you start to recognize the deeper truth suggested here? That you are the universe expressing itself, experiencing itself as you. Stay aware, stay whole,